Welcome back to Bob's Magic Emporium. Next video, 365 Day Magic Challenge. If you saw my unboxing yesterday, I got the refill pack for the ants. I got them right here in the Magic Shop set, right there. There they are. All right, so here we go. I got a teacher trick today. This one, I'm going to give credit to Bill Malone for this one. He did a trick like this on the Here I Go Again, On the Loose DVD. Sorry, On the Loose. And it's kind of like his trick, but I kind of changed up some of the stuff. So yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and give these cards a little shuffle. And if you have the On the Loose and you know this trick, you'll know what I've changed. So I'm going to give these cards a quick little shuffle, and the spectator would tell me stop them if they want as they go down this. Actually, the spectator cut the cards. Cut them wherever they like, right there. All right, and we're going to mark where they've cut. We'll say they've cut right there. Okay, perfect. So now what's going to happen is we're going to have you look at the card. I won't look at it. I will for the purpose of the demonstration, but normally I wouldn't see the card. So go ahead and take a look at it. I'll look at it too. All right, Two of Hearts. The Two of Hearts. We'll place the Two of Hearts right there. And I'll place this card somewhere. Actually, I'm going to cut the card. You place the card right there. Perfect, just like that. I'm going to put the rest of the deck on top, and I'll give these cards a little bit of a cut like this, and I'll even give them a shuffle like this. Perfect. So now nobody knows where your card's at. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and mix up these cards. I'm just going to kind of do something like this and like that, and kind of something like this. Perfect. Okay, here's what's going to happen. What's going to happen is I'm going to take and I'm going to place my hand down on the table. You take a card and put it in my hand. And hopefully, whatever card you think is yours, you place that right there, face down in my hand. So anyone you want. So the spectator would place it face down wherever they want, right there. Excellent. So turn it over. We'll see if it's that Two of Hearts. And no, at least it was a heart. It was a Jack of Hearts. But you know what? I should have done this trick myself. I just should have done it myself. I am so sorry about that. Should have done this trick myself. All right, and that is, I should have done it myself, is what I call this one. A really great trick. So let me explain how this one works. I'm not going to tell you the secret of how Bill Malone does it, because I don't want to reveal the secret to that. But in me performing the trick, I found the secret that Bill Malone talks about never worked for me. Never did. So what I'm going to do is show you the way I have critiqued the trick where it'll work 110% of the time. Works every single time you do this. You need a deck of cards, and you're going to be forcing a card onto the spectator. So whatever card you want to force them. Now, as I always say in a lot of these teacher tricks, don't force them the Ace of Spades, because somebody's going to think, oh, that's rigged. Pick any card that you want but the Ace of Spades. So we're going to go with this trick. We're going to go, I want to go a court card for this. So we're going to go the King of Hearts. We'll say we force them the King of Hearts. So what I do before the trick even starts, now I don't know how well this shows up on camera. You might have seen it. You might have seen the secret. But don't worry, this is so undetectable, your spectator won't see it. You get some double-sided tape. And all you do is take your double-sided tape and just put a little strip of it. You don't need a big strip running down the card. You need just a little strip. I would say about that much. That's all you need. Just a little itty-bitty strip. You're going to tear the strip off, and you're going to place it right on the back of the card. Now, I place it, if you're using bicycle cards, I place it right in between the two angels. So right there on that little that diagonal line right there. And I place it diagonally across the card too. So it's hard. It's even hard to detect it. I mean, if you hold it just right, that tape is undetectable. Sometimes in the right circumstances, it will catch the light. But I've had, like, if you place a small strip on it, not a huge strip going on the back of the card, small little strip, the spectator won't see it. It's undetectable. I mean, they can maybe catch it a little bit. It might catch the light, like I said, but it's kind of undetectable. All right, so you start with the card on the top of the deck. Now, you can use your favorite force for this. I use the crosscut force. And the really cool thing is, even though that double-sided tape is on the back of the card, you can still do the crosscut force. Let me explain. All right, so first you do a fake shuffle. Here's how this one works. You do a standard riffle shuffle. If you don't know how that's done, it's simple. All you do is you take and thumb off. Now, you got to remember which packet is which. This is the one with the double-sided tape card on the top of this one. You take the other packet, you thumb 1 or 2 cards off, thumb 1 or 2 cards off the other side, and then you keep doing that until the deck is exhausted. Now, when you come to the last 2 cards, now remember, I'm forcing the King of Hearts. You drop this one down first, then you drop this one down. And that will keep the King of Hearts right on top. And done up to speed, it looks very convincing. So it just goes like this. You go like that, go like this, and it looks very convincing that the cards are getting shuffled, but the king remains on the top. Another good false, it's more of a false cut that I've learned that's very deceiving. It may not look deceiving to your audience, but this one actually does deceive your audience. This is in my birthday video. I did the ex-girlfriend shuffle. Looks great, does nothing. That's what it does. All you do, you cut the cards in half, you take the top half, you give them a tap once, twice, 3 times, and throw it right back on the top. Now, there's enough of time misdirection here where your audience does not remember that was the top of the deck. They think you've just cut the cards and you put them right back. Or they think you've cut the cards and done something with them. The tapping makes their brain think, oh, I've done something with these cards. So use your favorite false cuts and false shuffles. Now to force the card, I do the crisscross force for this one like I did in the performance, but you can do any your favorite force that you want. For the cross cut force, all you do, cut the cards in half. The original bottom half goes across the top half. And it looks like a cross. That's why it's called the crisscross force. Now, normally, if you weren't forcing a card, to do this force the right way, to do it where, you would do it without forcing the card, it would go like this. Because this is the card they cut to. But there's, again, enough time misdirection on this one where you take the cards, you take the original bottom half, put them on the original top half. And then you go into something. Don't just do this. I've seen many magicians do the cross-cut force where they go, all right, we're going to cut these cards. We'll mark where you've cut. Now we're going to take a look at your card. That's not enough time misdirection. Normally, when I do this trick, I go, all right, so we're going to cut the cards. We'll place the cards right on top, and we're going to do something kind of miraculous with this card. You're going to do all the magic in this trick, and I really play it up as really talk to the audience for a couple moments, about 30 seconds. Also, when you do the crosscut force, there is tape on the back of this card. So if you just lightly put the cards down, the tape will not stick to the top, to this section of cards. If you push the cards down, it will stick. As you notice, it just stuck there. So lightly right across, just lay them across. Don't push the cards because that's going to make the tape stick. Because later when you pick the cards back up, if you push the cards down, the cards are going to stick like this. And that's not going to look very good. So lay the cards on top, do your misdirection by talking to the audience. Then when you're ready to have them look at their card, you pick the card right up, and then you show the card to the audience. Now, I looked at it when I performed the trick. You don't, though. You can turn your back, you can turn your head. Normally what I do, though, is because you don't want the spectator handling this card because there is the tape on the back of it. So what I do is I say, okay, let's look at your card. I'm going to look away, but I'll show you the card. So I turn my back like this, and I hold the card and just show it like that. Now, my back is turned, but I just hold it. That way they don't have to feel the card and possibly end up feeling the tape on the back of it. So when you're done, then you can do your favorite. You can just lay the card right back on top and do your riffle shuffle again, keeping the card on the top of the deck. So you can just do that, keeping the card on top. What I do in the trick, though, is I'll keep the card right out here and say, I won't look at the card. You cut the deck in half. So they cut the deck in half anywhere they want. I place the card right there. And then I say, okay, we're going to put the cards right on top. I'm going to give the deck a little bit of a shuffle. Then I'll give it a cut, then a few shuffles like that. And all I'm doing is retaining that card back to the top of the deck and then leaving it on the top. So again, this is just doing your favorite false cuts and shuffles in this. Then what you do is you say, okay, we're going to mix up the cards even more, and all you do is take the cards and just mix them around the table like this. Make sure you keep track of that top card, which is theirs. So you just keep mixing them up. Normally what I do is keep one finger on their card as I'm mixing like this. That way, you always know where it's at. And you can even, if you want to, take their card, put it underneath, and keep going like this. That way, it thoroughly mixes up the cards. And that looks very good. that looks really good. Even when I go like this underneath, it's hard to tell, which card is theirs because I'm holding the card. So make sure you keep track of it. You know where it's at. That's their card right there. So then after you're done mixing, immediately throw your hands. Now this situation is bad. You don't want this situation. You want to make sure that when you're done mixing, the card is like this. There's their card right there. It's around other cards. You don't want their card to be like over here and you place your hand on top of it because that's easy to see. So you want to make sure that it's kind of around some cards so you can say, as soon as you're done mixing, immediately throw your hand right on top of their card. Now, don't make it obvious that you're doing it. Just say, all right, what I'm going to do is place my hand down. You place your hand on top of their card and say, all right, here's what I'm going to do. What I want you to do is pick up any card you think is yours and place it face down in my hand. Now, from here on out, after you place your hand on top of their card, it's just acting. One other thing I do want to mention is make sure that you kind of don't force your hand on it, but when you put your hand on the card, give it a little press like this. Just press it down just a little bit. That way, you know the card is stuck to the back of it. So now this is just all acting. Once you place your hand on the card, it's all acting. So they pick up any card they think is theirs. You say, all right, you think that's your card. Go ahead and turn it over. We'll see if it's right. They turn the card over. It's wrong. You were close. It was a coin. Oh, man. Well, that wasn't your card. And then you can ask them what their card is. Normally what I do is I take the card, turn it back over, place it down, and then I immediately turn my hand over and say, I should have done this trick myself. That's normally what I do. So the card's there. I say, okay, turn it over. See if that's your card. Is that your card? No? Well, you know what? I should have done the trick myself. I really should have. And immediately turn your hand over. As soon as you deliver that line, I should have done the trick myself. Turn the card over, and the spectators will see their cards on the back of your hand. And it's a very startling piece of magic. Don't underplay this. What I mean by that is don't go, I should have done the trick myself. Don't immediately take the card off. Let it milk this for a minute because your audience is going to start laughing when they see the back of the cards on the back of your hand. As soon as you turn it over and deliver that line, I should have done the trick. Whoops, the tape is losing its sticky now. You deliver that line, I should have done this trick myself. Turn it over and leave it there for a second or two. Then even keep leaving it there. As you take the cards and start squaring them back up, leave it. If it happens to fall off, it might fall off. That's all right. So you go over that one more time. You take your hand, turn it over. I should have done the trick myself. Start squaring up the cards. And then once the cards are in kind of a little pile like this, take the card off, put it on top, and then just square up the rest of the cards. Put them back in the card box. If the card, as you're squaring them, happens to fall off, that's all right. Pick up the card, put it right on top, put it in the card box. Now, another thing I like to do as well is I like to have another duplicate forced card in my pocket. So I don't have a forced card I don't have another King of Hearts in my pocket. But let's just say I have a Joker, I think, sitting somewhere. No, I don't. Dang it. Okay, I have another deck of cards over here. No, that's, yeah, we'll just go with this one. So we'll say that this is the force card. This one will be in my pocket. This doesn't usually happen too often. If you quickly collect the cards and throw them in the card box and put them and start doing another trick, or you just start going into another trick in general, they might ask to see the cards. If that situation happens, play it off. If they say, let me look at the cards, instead of putting them in the box, put them in your pocket. And that way what you can do is in your pocket you can switch out the gimmicked card or the card with the tape on the back of it for that other force card. You can stick it right on top. You can do that. I've never done this trick though where the spectator has asked me, let me see the cards. They never really have asked me, so you don't have to worry about that. Another thing you can do too is my tape has lost its stickiness. If your tape, as you're performing, doesn't get sticky, after you've done the trick and you've done the reveal of it, and the tape has become not sticky, that's even better if your tape's not sticky because then you have just a regular card. It's kind of hard to see the tape because it will start blending in because it's lost that shine of the sticky. Then you can just take the cards and go into a whole nother card trick with the same deck. So that way, right after you've done the I should have done it myself trick, you can go into another trick with this deck of cards, and then you can go into a whole other trick so the spectators will think, oh, that card can't be fake. So I'm going to take the tape off this card. And that's the I should have done it myself card trick. Let me know your failure stories or success stories for this trick down in the comments below. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you tomorrow for the next Magic Challenge video.